One of the hardest parts of planning a trip to Boracay is choosing a place to stay. Not because there are no decent options, but on the contrary, because of the sheer number of choices you'll be bombarded with when you start searching for one. Choice paralysis realness. Hey there, poor traveler, we are Vince and Yosh. Boracay is one of our super fave destinations in the Philippines, and we have stayed in almost every major area. What is the best, you ask? The truth is, there is no short and sweet answer to this. But no worries, because in this video, we'll break down the key areas in Boracay and highlight the pros and cons for each so you could make a more informed decision. Before we dive into it, do us a favor and hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet and click the bell icon next to it so you're updated whenever we upload a new video. If you're watching this on FB, like and follow our page and help us reach 1 million followers. Okay, before you go looking for accommodations, it is important to be familiar with the geography of Boracay, or at least the very basic of it. Boracay is quite small, much smaller than Bali or Phuket or Palawan, but it is bursting at the seams with possible lodging options. Take a look at this map. The landmass protruding from the lower right corner is Caticlan, part of mainland Aklan. Caticlan serves as the primary gateway to Boracay. Here, you'll find both the Caticlan International Airport, aka Boracay Airport, and the Caticlan Jetty Port, which is the seaport. Every tourist in Boracay passes through Caticlan. Naturally, the passenger ports in Boracay, i.e. Cagban Port and Tambisaan Port, are along the edge closest to Caticlan. You'll also notice that Boracay is divided into 3 barangays or villages: Yapak, Bulabog, and Manok Manok. You'll encounter these barangay names when checking out hotel and resort addresses. But for tourists, it's more practical to divide the island not by barangay but by beach. If you notice, Boracay's shoreline is glazed with over a dozen beaches. The most famous of which are White Beach along the southwestern coast, Bulabog Beach on the east, and Puka Beach on the northernmost tip. The most noteworthy here is White Beach, which harbors the greatest concentration of hotels and restaurants because it is the most stunning in the island. When you Google photos of Boracay, chances are you'll be presented with images of White Beach, thanks to its powdery white sand glistening under the sun and crystal waters swaying in various shades of blue. White Beach is further divided into 3 boat stations, Station 1, Station 2, and Station 3, spanning 2 barangays. But all 3 share just one beach. There is no physical border between them, meaning you can just walk along the shore from one station to another without any problem. And if you do, you'll quickly realize that each station has a distinct character and set of advantages and disadvantages. Station 1 is the most beautiful part of White Beach. It's here that you'll find the iconic Wheelies Rock and the row of blue-sailed parao boats that have become synonymous with the island. But Station 1's biggest pro is its quietness. Take another look at our map. Station 1 is on the northern end of White Beach. Just next to it is Station 2, the busiest area in Boracay. The further you move from Station 2, the calmer it gets. Hence, the southern end of Station 1 can still get a bit loud at times, especially in the morning, because Station 1 is home to one of the 2 jumping off points for island hopping tours. The other one is in Station 3. But the northernmost tip, near the so-called Lambros Point, is so silent it's almost sedating. The catch is, it's also the posh side of White Beach. Most of the properties here are on the higher end of the spectrum, like the Lynn Boracay, an upscale resort that combines the proximity of White Beach and the amenities of luxury properties, and Henan Crystal Sands Resort, the best of all the Henan resorts in Boracay. The room are standard Henan, but its infinity pool is perched on the 2nd floor, overlooking the White Beach and allowing a glorious view of the sunset. Other popular resorts in Station 1 are Harlan Beach Villa, Discovery Shores, Fridays Boracay, 2 Seasons, and Astoria Boracay. So yeah, most are pretty high-end, but there are a few exceptions, especially the hostels near the border with Station 2. Unfortunately, most of the budget places we have tried in Station 1 have closed down after the clearing operations done in 2018. We've also tried Friends Hostel, which is technically in Station 2 but near the Station 1 border, so it's not as hectic. Station 2 is the epicenter of all the action in Boracay. It has the largest number of hotels, resorts, bars, restaurants, and shops. Why? In this part of the island, the distance between the shoreline and the main road widens, accommodating much more establishments closer to the beach. If you walk from the main road to the coast, you'll probably pass by or through at least 4 resorts. In fact, it's here in Station 2 that you'll find the mall, which is probably the single busiest area in the entire island. It's also the most accessible as most transportation services pick up, drop off, or terminate around here. If you stay in Station 2, almost every main point of interest is within walking distance. But this accessibility and busyness are also its main cons. It can get loud and noisy here, and it's hard to find a spot or moment of tranquility. Try walking along the beach and you'll be approached by toots countless times, offering a whole range of services from crystal kayak to henna tattoo to massage. Some of the popular resorts here include Henan Garden Resort, Henan Lagoon Resort, Henan Palm Beach Resort, Henan Park Resort, La Carmela de Boracay, U Hotels and Resorts, and Le Soleil de Boracay. In Station 2, we stayed at Henan Park Resort, the latest Henan property to open to the public, so everything still looks, feels, and smells fresh and brand new. It's not beachfront but along the main road, so it's accessible. We've also stayed at Le Soleil de Boracay, which is at a fantastic location. It's beachfront and close to the mall, but surprisingly quiet inside the rooms. It also stands along an alley, making it accessible by e-trike or other vehicle from the main road. We've also tried 8 Colors Beach House, a small boutique lodge easily accessible from the main road and from the beach. It's not beachfront but it's literally a stone's throw from the beach. It's also very budget-friendly. Often overlooked, Station 3 occupies the southernmost end of White Beach. But its shore is narrower and slightly steeper. Like Station 1, it is relatively calm. Fewer shops and restaurants line the beach and the streets, so the crowd also thins out. As I always say, if you follow the crowd, you'll never reach Station 3. That's because those coming from Station 1 get exhausted by the time they make it to Station 2, and those coming from Station 2 usually turn right to Station 1. While shops and restaurants are sparser in Station 3, it harbors most of White Beach's budget accommodations from smaller inns, backpacker hostels, and independent guest houses. Years ago, one could find a room for only 500 pesos per night, but I'm not sure if that's still possible these days. It's been a while since we last stayed at Station 3. It's also here that you'll find this floating jetty, which is used as a boarding spot for the island hopping tours. Yes, Station 0 is a thing, but it's not an official name. It's just a nickname bestowed upon it because it's technically on the same side as White Beach's 3 stations, but in actuality, it refers to a completely separate cove. Confused? Okay, hold on. I'll try to explain it. North of Station 1, on the same side of the island, you'll find a series of smaller coves, including the famed Diniwid Beach immediately after it. On the far end lies Banyugan Beach, which serves as the private beach for guests of Shangri-La Boracay. And between these 2 coves is Punta Bunga Beach, also known as Station 0, a strip of sand shared by 3 luxury resorts, Shangri-La Boracay, Crimson Resort and Spa, and Movenpick Resort and Spa. These are all high-end resorts, so only a few people get to access this. Room rates here play within the 5-digit range, starting at 11,000 pesos or $200 per night. And that's just the standard room. Suites can cost higher than 30,000 pesos or 550 USD per night. Super posh villas can set you back 70,000 pesos or 1,300 USD per night. Yes, these are mostly for the rich and famous, but most of the people I know who have stayed at any of these say that they're super worth it, especially if you're really after luxury, privacy, and impeccable service. It's also great for those who wish to celebrate a special or romantic occasion like honeymoon or anniversary. While White Beach glazes the western edge of Boracay, Bulabog Beach takes up much of its eastern coast. But unlike its more popular counterpart, the sand here isn't something to write home about. It's mostly rocky and covered in seagrass, which isn't ideal for swimming and sunbathing. Regardless, it's still incredibly scenic, thanks to its picturesque row of coconut trees that have been attracting Instagrammers left and right. Bulabog Beach is easily accessible from the main road or even from White Beach. From the mall, you should be able to reach Bulabog Beach on foot in around 5 minutes, supposing you don't have mobility issues. The terrain is mostly flat. While some properties entail a bit of walking, e-trikes and multicabs can conveniently drop you off or pick you up in the area. It's also the main playground for water sport enthusiasts. The beach is lined by kite surfing and parasailing offices. Yet, despite the extreme activities and proximity to the mall, it remains quiet and fosters an atmosphere that is a far cry from the chaos in Station 2. The best part? Properties along Bulabog Beach charge much lower rates, often half than those along White Beach. It's hard to delineate what can be considered inland, but for the purpose of this video, we're only including properties that are located in the area between Bulabog Beach and the main street. Meaning, if you're coming from the port, it's the area to the right of the road. And yep, this area, although far from the beach, also hosts numerous hotels, resorts, and apartments that won't break the bank. I'm the type of traveler that doesn't mind staying at non-beachfront properties, especially in Boracay. The truth is, you don't need to stay near White Beach to be able to access it. The main road stems into several alleys that lead to the beach. One can simply waltz and sashay to it. In fact, I have stayed multiple times in an inland area near Station 2. I don't know exactly what this area is called, but it can be reached by turning onto this steep street. And here, you'll find Villa Dangyang, a residential complex with a separate apartment building, the rooms of which are being rented out to tourists. Some of the rooms are equipped with stove, kitchenware, and utensils. So yes, cooking is allowed in some rooms. On our last trip, we booked a one-bedroom apartment for only $1,400 or $25 per night. Dakong Amihan Home is also here. It's a Spanish colonial-style guest house that offers affordable bed and breakfast accommodations. It's been years since I stayed here, but I still remember the hospitality of the staff and the owner. Boracay Newcoast is the newest tourism and resort development project by Megaworld in the island. Spanning 150 hectares of hilly landscape, it is stocked in the northeastern coast. Think of it as a township detached from all the hustle and bustle of the island's main tourist spots. Newcoast encompasses 3 smaller, now private coves south of Ilig-Iligan Beach and north of Lapus-Lapus Beach. It also owns the land that serves as the main access point to the Keyhole, a postcard-worthy natural arch that has become a major tourist attraction. All these coves face east, providing a front row seat to the spectacular Boracay sunrise. Guests can also join a free sunrise tour that will take you to 2 of their private beaches. More establishments have also been sprouting along its lanes, the most prominent of which are Savoy Hotel and Belmont Hotel. Both Savoy and Belmont are well-appointed 4-star properties that can make your stay more comfortable, more relaxing, and more special. For a standard room at either, you'll have to shell out $70 to $110 USD per night. Boracay Newcoast also has a food market and a huge tent that can be a venue for conferences, corporate events, and even personal ones like weddings. So, after all that, which is the best area to stay in Boracay? Well, the best area depends on your budget and preferences. We have tried staying at all the areas mentioned above, and each has its own strengths. If I were rolling in money and would love a more peaceful, more private stay, I'd choose the luxury resorts at Station 0. But I'm not rolling in money, so the best seclusion I could afford is probably the mid-range properties at Boracay Newcoast. But if you're after accessibility and proximity to everything, choose Station 1 or 2. These 2 boat stations are the most convenient location-wise. They're also the best pick if you're in Boracay for nightlife. But if budget is a main concern, consider staying at a place in Station 3, Bulabog Beach, or somewhere further inland. You can easily find affordable hotels, inns, apartments, and guest houses in these areas. As for me, my personal pick is Station 1 or Station 2, beachfront or not, primarily because of convenience. So there you have it. In our next video, we'll be publishing the English versions of our Greater Boracay travel guide with tips on getting there, top activities, and food questions. Just drop them in the comment section below. You may also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. Just search at The Poor Traveler, single L. That's all for now. Remember, plan smart, travel safe, and make every trip worth it.